Donald Trump's decision to snub a requested 60 Minutes interview breaks a 50-year tradition and has left the iconic news program absolutely fuming. Why did he walk away from one of the most watched political shows of all time? We'll break down Trump's reasoning, 60 Minutes' response, and we'll unpack this snub, how it might be a total game changer. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smack that like button because it really does help us with the algorithm so that we could reach more people. Also, we do live streams every Friday night at 6 o'clock Eastern. We're doing one tonight where we read interesting stories of the week. We tweak them with a bit of humor, a dash of sarcasm, and a whole lot of conservative common sense. We have a lot of fun while we're doing it, so please join us tonight. So, 60 Minutes is throwing a temper tantrum because Donald Trump dared to say no thanks to their precious interview invitation. They actually took to Twitter, whining like Joe Biden after he lost his ice cream cone. They even tried the classic guilt trip, reminding everyone that this has been a tradition for over 50 years. But Trump isn't playing along this time. He's got his reasons, guys, and they're not the kind that you can just brush off. Here's what 60 Minutes tweeted. A programming note, 60 Minutes is scheduled to air a primetime election special on a Monday edition of the broadcast on October 7 at 8 p.m. For over half a century, 60 Minutes has invited the Democratic and Republican tickets to appear on our broadcast as Americans head to the polls. This year, both Harris and Trump campaigns agreed to sit down with 60 Minutes. That's a lie. More on that in a bit. Vice President Harris will speak with correspondent Bill Whitaker. After initially accepting 60 Minutes' request for an interview with Scott Pelley, former President Trump's campaign decided not to participate. Again, total lie. Pelley will address this Monday evening. Our election special will broadcast the Harris interview on Monday as planned. Our original invitation to former President Donald Trump to be interviewed on 60 Minutes stands. But here's where it gets really interesting, guys. 60 Minutes conveniently forgot to mention that this tradition they're so proud of hasn't exactly been the most honest. You see, back in 2020, Trump exposed them on national TV over their lies about the Hunter Biden laptop story and the story that Trump's 2016 campaign was spied on by the Obama-Biden administration. Both of those scandals are true. You can't even argue it anymore. But remember, that debacle with the Russian collusion hoax? Everyone else does, especially Trump. And yet they still have the nerve to think he'd just walk right back into their trap. It's starting to sound like deja vu, right? Or is it just a sad rerun of the same mainstream media shenanigans we've all come to expect? Well, the Trump campaign hit back hard, calling 60 Minutes exactly what it is, fake news. Stephen Chung, one of the guys running the Trump campaign, he tweeted out, fake news, 60 Minutes begged for an interview even after they were caught lying about Hunter Biden's laptop back in 2020. There were initial discussions, but nothing was ever scheduled or locked in. They can't even be honest at this stage of it. They also insisted on doing live fact-checking, which is unprecedented. Live fact-checking? Are you kidding me? I can nearly guarantee that 60 Minutes will not do a fact-check on cackling Kamala. No, wait, they will intentionally do one fact-check on something so beneath the radar that it won't mean anything. They'll probably tell her that they're going to do it. Tell her what to say. And they will do that just so that they can say that they fact-checked the dumbest person ever given the POTUS nod by a major political party. But here's where the rubber meets the road. When Trump was asked about it at a press conference, he didn't hold back. No surprise there. Trump said straight up, and I quote, "They came to me and would like me to do an interview, but first I want to get an apology because the last time I did an interview with them, if you remember, they challenged me on the computer. They said the laptop from hell was from Russia. And I said it wasn't from Russia. It was from Hunter. Give it a watch."
Go ahead.
CBS is saying that you have pulled out of a planned interview on 60 Minutes. I'd just like you to address that report. And if you indeed are not doing the interview, explain your reasoning why.
Well, right now they came to me and would like me to do an interview, but first I want to get an apology because the last time I did an interview with them, if you remember, they challenged me on the computer. They said the laptop from hell was from Russia, and I said it wasn't from Russia, it was from Hunter. and I never got an apology. So I'm sort of waiting. I'd love to do 60 Minutes. I do everything. I mean, I do you right now, right? And you're tougher than 60 Minutes, frankly. The laptop from hell was from Hunter. It wasn't from, so I haven't gotten, if you remember Leslie Stahl, we got into a little bit of an argument on the camera talking about that and other things. And, you know, they really owed me an apology. I'll tell you, David Muir, how about David Muir when he said that crime went down? So I like to get an apology. So I've asked them for an apology. Let's see if they do it. I wouldn't mind doing 60. I've done 60 Minutes a lot. I did 60 Minutes twice with Mike Wallace, the great Mike Wallace. He was great. His son is from a different ballpark. His son doesn't have, I said, you want to be like your father? Just don't have the talent. Who else, please?
And that's where I think the bottom line was. No apology, no interview. And it's not like Trump's losing sleep over it. He's got plenty of platforms to get his message across. Now think about it. Why would Trump put himself in front of these so-called journalists who wouldn't know integrity if it smacked them upside the head? To get lied about again on national TV? No thanks. He's not falling for that trick twice. That would be like falling for Lucy pulling the football away again and again. And can you blame him? Would you go back to a show that made you out to be some conspiracy theorist when in reality you were right all along? And worse, 60 Minutes knew that he was right. 60 Minutes called Trump's claims about the Hunter Biden laptop unverified. They said that they couldn't authenticate. Do you know why they couldn't authenticate it? Because they didn't want to. It's really that simple. They didn't want to. The laptop was real, the emails were real, and Hunter's actions were real. End of story. But they played dumb to protect the Bidens and to make Trump look bad. And what gets me is that every single fake news outlet in the world who prattled on about the laptop being Russian disinformation, nearly immediately after Joe Biden was inaugurated, they all came out and said, oh, and by the way, that Russian laptop story, it was real. Son of a bitch. How about that? So now, after the Democratic Party stenographers got humiliated on live TV after the Vance Walz debate where JD gave the world a masterclass on how to take down lying libnuts as moderators, pretend to be moderators, and a moron Democrat VP nominee who lies like a rug, they're begging for another shot at Trump. But Trump's response is clear. Apologize or keep your failing show. He's not interested. Why should he be? Why should Trump give them a ratings boost when they constantly do nothing more than try to drag him through the mud? But guess what? They're not getting that shot. Trump doesn't need 60 Minutes. He's got millions of supporters, alternative media, independent journalists, and podcasters all ready to tell his side of the story. In fact, no Republican should ever sit down again with these so-called organizations. Why give them the ammo to shoot you with? I'm talking about ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC. None of them. Screw them all. I'll go one further. I think no Republican should ever again do a debate where every moderator is from these fake news networks. Conservatives have a plethora of people they can choose. You got Hannity, Mark Levin, Steven Crowder, Dan Bongino, Glenn Beck. The list goes on and on. For that matter, Christ, I would do a better job than these clowns at the alphabet networks. And honestly, who's even watching 60 Minutes anymore? Their credibility went out the window a long time ago, along with the notion that they're fair and unbiased. Let's not forget, they are the same people who clutched pearls over Trump's claims to be proven wrong again and again. So here we are. Trump versus 60 Minutes, round 2. But it's a match that won't happen unless the show grows a spine and offers an apology. Spoiler alert, they won't. Why? Because that would mean admitting that they're just activists masquerading as journalists, and they'd rather keep losing ratings than to do that. In the end, Trump doesn't need them, and frankly, neither do we. Let them stew in their own irrelevance while Trump keeps rallying support and calling out their nonsense. We don't need a fake apology from 60 Minutes. What we need is for more people to wake up to the lies the mainstream media has been pushing for years. All right, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you want to be kept up to date with news and politics stories just like this. I'll see you in the next one. Spread the word.
Too many secrets, too many closed doors, we're sick to cover-ups. We're sick of the cover-ups, want drinking the Kool-Aid from their poison cup. We want transparency, we want it now. No more excuses